the market is telling us that memes are the thing. And so like, it's one of the like, do you want to be smart or do you want to be rich?
Yeah.
And that's it. If something's hot and new, like that's what I want to be in, especially in bull markets.
Yeah. You think we're in a bull market, man?
Yes, 100%. Every morning when I wake up and look at the chart, I'm just shocked that Bitcoin's not at 90K by now. I think we're about to be in a very awesome bull run.
I'm here at Cosmoverse with Farmer from Defi Dojo. How's it going, man?
Good to see you, brother.
Welcome to the couch.
It's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of
Between two ferns.
I did it between two ferns with Metallic at ECC this year. It was pretty good. No, this is the crypto casting couch. Yeah.
Nice. How many podcasts have you done up here?
I've done. You'd be the fourth, fourth, but I've got lots lined up today. But yeah, it was sort of impromptu. I came in this room and I was like, this is a decent place to do podcasts. It's quiet and I've got the gear, so it works great. Let's fucking go. Yeah. So I feel like we were thinking what we're going to talk about here. So I think we should talk about IBC and how amazing it is. And also talk about the Cosmos SDK and how amazing it is and how it's taking over the world.
And how potentially ZK proofs could enable a lot of really interesting use cases.
Yeah, ZK proofs and like definitely app chains. Let's talk about app chains.
But let's go over the app chain thesis.
Let's make sure everybody understands the app chain thesis.
Well, what's funny is like, you know, those are conversations that we've had 850 times, I think, over the last 2 years, and everyone's done multiple podcasts on them. So like, that's why we're laughing about it. But like in the DeFi Dojo, like there's so many people who still like no one understands like really Cosmos, what's going on, IBC. It just hasn't gotten the mind share.
So DeFi Dojo is a community.
It's DeFi education.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to describe it.
Okay.
And a bunch of DeFi nerds all together in one Discord, and everybody's just like hunting for like the highest possible yield on the highest possible quality asset, right? And of course, that's always ETH.
Yeah.
And then there's a derivative, and then maybe that's like slightly less quality than vanilla ETH. And now there's a liquid stake derivative of a derivative of derivative.
And then a restaked derivative.
Yeah. And so basically what everybody's been talking about this year is just points farming. You know, everybody was points farming Eigenlayer, then points farming Karak, and then now everybody's super stoked about Symbiotic and using the mellow pools to like gain a bunch of different points at one time.
Yeah.
So it's hard to calculate the yield because you don't really know.
Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to like a guy. It's like a TradFi guy, but like is into crypto, and he wrote a book about. Basically for institutions on kind of crypto and blockchain, and he was like, "Wait, liquid staking or restaking? You mean you take the stake asset and then you make a derivative out of it, and then you restake the derivative?" Yeah,
yeah. Well, that's why we were coming up for that name of that panel talk at Nebular Summit is about liquid restaking.
Yeah.
We named it fractional reserve banking.
Yeah.
Crypto.
Exactly.
Because it is like, that's kind of how fractional reserve, like with all the like, everything that happened in the U.S. in the 2000s.
So you're like deep in the trenches of DeFi, and you're like my kind of like, some ways my go-to DeFi guy when I want to know about like stuff that's happening deep in the trenches. What's happening right now? Like, what are people sort of concentrating on to try to extract the best yields? It was Eigenlayer, now that's kind of over.
Yep.
What's the next thing?
So like I'm kind of the wrong person to talk about it. So
okay, let's get that guy up here.
Yeah, I'm focused on like lots of other opportunities, and like I'm not really focused on like ETH and points farming.
Yeah.
I do think like the new like quasar pools that are in Mellow is like interesting, and like everybody should probably put a little bit of ETH in there because you're earning all of these different points at the same time.
Yeah.
You know.
So Quasar has these pools that you put ETH in and allows you to get points on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like, you know, could be like everything's a rumor. You have no idea, right? But it could be like Union, Barachain, Mellow.
That's also kind of this METH, right? That the Selene guys are working on.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but that's just what like all the DeFi guys are talking about, and like I feel like I'm in the like actual trenches, like goofing off with meme coins, and then the last good DeFi position I did was the Mantra pool, which was amazing. Ended up being about 4,000% APR.
Whoa.
And that's not counting the karma that you were gaining along the way. And so after talking to the Mantra people this week, they told me I should be very excited about the karma that I've earned. So something like that was cool because I came to Nebular, because I came to ECC.
Yeah.
That was something that I could bring back to our team.
Yeah.
And then like I got to, you know, give that to them. And it's not something that they would have paid attention to.
Yeah.
Without that. So, you know, I'll get excited about a DeFi thing and be into it, but I'm not chasing and looping and doing all these type of strategies like most of the people in the dojo are doing.
Yeah. How much time a day do you spend doing DeFi?
Talking about DeFi or doing DeFi?
Doing DeFi.
Maybe 30 minutes.
30 minutes a day.
Yeah. Another thing, I don't like to get in stressful loops where I have to like manage liquidations. Like that's terrifying. I don't want that like in the back of my mind all the time. And that happens a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Things get depegged, especially when we're talking about like derivative assets and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's pretty scary. And that's why the DeFi Dojo is so good, is because like everybody is on it. It's like asking the right questions. What kind of oracle are they using? Are they audited? Does it look sketchy? All this different stuff. And then the other thing is like the moment that something goes wrong, one of the guys knows about it in the dojo and like puts it in the security alert so everybody can go and like start unwrapping everything, doing all that stuff. But I mean, what's interesting is the market is telling us that memes are the thing. And so like, it's one of their like, do you want to be smart or do you want to be rich?
Yeah.
And that's it. So
yeah, it's funny how I brought this up with a few people. Like last week I was at this Ledger event in Paris and there were these guys there like that are big into NFTs and like were in the NFT cycle and did well there and buying NFT art. And there are actually like a lot of NFT people at this event because it's a Ledger, right? And they're you know, they've got this whole kind of go to market with NFT folks. But nobody bought into the meme coin idea. And no matter how I spun it, and they were like, no, but it's like, it's not tangible value. And and it's interesting because, you know, the same discussions were happening 3-4 years ago when NFTs were popping. And all the DeFi people were saying like, you know, NFTs don't have real value.
Right.
So yeah, what's your take on the meme coin?
I think it's as simple as the market is always right. And that's it. The market's telling us that like, this is what everyone's interested in.
Yeah.
And so like institutions are going to find their place like within crypto this cycle, which I think is really cool. But when retail comes, I'm guessing that 90% of them are just going to want the memes on Solana. And so that's what the market is telling us right now. And then, you know, of course we'll see cycles through it, and like every different place where there's memes on different chains, eventually everyone will like, it'll get hot. You know, it was hot to bridge to Tron for a while, and then it was hot to bridge to Sui, and like, who knows what's next, probably Aptos or something. And maybe even eventually we'll get to where there's some cool Cosmos memes.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy to do. It's so fun. Like, you know, all these chains I think should spin up memes and airdrop them to their community.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you have anything to lose.
Yesterday I was on a panel and one of the panelists said something which I thought was interesting. I'm going to butcher this, but you know, he said, you know, we was a VC panel. So he says like, you know, we're VCs, you know, think of us as like poker players. So you go to the casino and you sit down, you play poker, and you sort of like try to play a good game and or like analyze the table. I'm not a poker player, so I'm going to mess up the poker analogies. And then you have a bunch of guys just playing slot machines. And, you know, like you'll never go play those slot machines, and those guys will never come and play poker, or at least they'll never be good at it.
Yep.
And I think that was a good way to illustrate the difference between professional investors in the space and also retail, but also perhaps somewhat representative of reality, where like I think funds are not really paying attention to meme coins so much.
Right.
That might come like later in the cycle, but at least for now, I'm talking to VCs, and they're not aping into meme coins.
Yeah.
With their LP money, and we're not either. So.
Yeah. Well, I think it's mid curve. I think everyone's mid curving it.
Yeah.
So the market has told us that isn't true. And I think that instead of like going and doing the due diligence and the work that they should be doing, like just take it like it's another project and just analyze it.
Yeah.
How many, like whatever metrics you think are important, how many holders are there, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the charts. And I think that should be their approach, instead of just like, of course not. Yeah, we're not going to do memes. Like, if you're Fidelity or something, hire a team of 24-year-olds out of college and like get them to start looking into this stuff, because it's like a really interesting cultural movement.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm coming to it from. I bought no memes last cycle, wasn't into it all.
This is new for you though, the memes, because 6 months ago you weren't looking at memes.
Yeah, and then I decided that the market was right and I was wrong, like always. And that's it. And then it's actually been great. But I take the VC basket approach when going to memes. I think you have to do that. There's somewhere it's like, wow, that one's really good, I should load up on it. But in general, there is such a higher likelihood of like rugging and not success.
Yeah.
So if you're in 100 memes and you get one to do a 200x, then you're okay, you're back. You've doubled it. You have like a lot higher chance. So I spread it out in like a big basket, and it's pretty fun.
What are you holding?
My favorite meme is Zen.
Zen. What's Zen?
Zen is a highly addictive nicotine pouch.
Okay.
That I have in my mouth right now.
Okay.
And it's become like,
is there a coin?
Yeah, there's a coin.
Okay.
But it's based on like, Zen has been like a huge cultural thing in America. And there was like a Zen shortage because the Zen factory burnt down. And there's like, that meme has already reached like mass population. So if the general public comes in, I think it's something that they'll really want.
They didn't launch it.
No, of course not. I actually think, this could be wrong. I could be saying this. I'm pretty sure Philip Morris tried to like sue Zen. The
meme coin.
The meme coin. Yeah. And it's like, well, who do I send this to? Like, whatever. So for me,
like that time,
that's my favorite one. Yeah. But I got lucky because it ended up being this guy Murad came out with his big list. And then on his secondary list of like undervalued projects, Zen was on there. So that's kind of giving it a boost and people are seeing it.
Okay. So what Zen?
Zen's my favorite. Oh man, there are hundreds, and I just got into like the new AI coins, like Goat and Fart, and
so what's happening there? I've only sort of heard about this.
I don't really know. I know like
these are coins that are run by AI, basically.
So my understanding is someone gave an AI a bunch of money and told them to like start a coin or do something.
Yeah.
And then the AI did that. And you can like follow along, like the AI is like tweeting all the time. And it's like, sometimes it's really weird and it's just a bizarre thing. And so, is the AI actually in charge of it, or is there like a dev still behind that wallet?
Yeah.
Is like what's interesting. So I bought with meme coins. If you see something get really popular, like it's kind of one of those things where you ape and then do the research later. That's kind of what I do. Just knowing like this has like the cultural fit. Every single person in the space is talking about it. Like it has enough mind share that it will probably do well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like its whole new class of meme coins. I think it will be its own. It'll be like memes, AI memes, and it will be sort of its own thing. It's really interesting. I know like Taiki Madea and the Humble Farmer Army, they've been doing a really cool deep dive over the last couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to watching his podcast about all this stuff.
And it's mostly on Solana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think someone launched one on ETH. But pretty much everything's happening on Solana. I think the AI allegedly like started the pump fund himself.
You're saying that an AI started Pump.Fun?
I'm saying an AI did the Pump.Fun. Like, he launched the coin on Pump.Fun.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. By himself.
By himself.
By itself.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Okay. And what should people be like? I mean, for like a boomer like me who's just holding DeFi assets and like farming and, you know, doing yield farming.
Yeah.
What kind of things should I be looking at in terms of, not necessarily like the coins themselves, but like what are some indicators or data points that one can look at and say, hey, like, okay, this might be interesting. Yeah. Other than I like the ticker.
I think it takes so much time and so much like mind share that like most people just shouldn't do it. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't do it unless you want to like sit in front of the computer and like get in all these meme alpha groups and like.
I do that already. So you might as well do it.
So it's like, you know, everybody's telling place. I'm not telling anyone to buy memes. All I'm saying is the market is telling us to buy memes.
Yeah.
And so like maybe we should stop like shitting on them. You know what I mean? Like, this is all an experiment. This is all fun. This is brand new technology and industry, and everyone's trying to like figure out and find their way. So like, if you're a really serious product, like, great. Like, I don't know, you could also still make a fun meme and then airdrop it to your community, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it should be embraced and not like shat on.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you said a while ago and that there are some key indicators that one should look at, like how many holders there are.
Yeah.
How much of the supply do the founders hold?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, things like that, right? What are those?
Yeah, this is something like Steven and I was talking about, because he's like you, like, how do I like in any way like make this work for my brain, you know? And so with Pump.Fun, and then when you do a Pump.Fun, then it automatically creates a liquidity pool on Radium for you.
Yeah.
And then you can go to like DEX aggregators. So I like this one called Bird Eye, and it will tell you, of course, market cap, and then it goes to number of holders, like number of wallets that hold it, which that can be scammed. Sometimes they'll like spin up bots, be like, oh my God, there's 14,000 holders of this coin and it's only a 200,000 market cap.
Yeah.
So you have to be a little bit careful there. And then it actually tells you, like, did the dev like get rid of the rights to mint more tokens? It checks that off. And then it tells you the top 10 holders. Right. And so you can go through and be like, wow, one wallet has 80%. But like, instead of like getting on some kind of block explorer and figuring all that for yourself, it just makes it really easy for you there. And so, you know, what you really want to see is like 7% on Radium, and then like everyone else with like 1 to 2% in that top 10 list.
Yeah.
So there aren't like a dev or whales who are immediately just going to dump on you.
Yeah. What could go wrong with the meme coin? Like,
well, 99.99999% of them will go to absolute zero. You know, they have no value. Like, it ended up not being that funny, didn't catch on, rugged too quickly, wasn't a good fit. So it's extremely difficult to know. It's gambling, it's speculation. It's not what people shouldn't just jump into this stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the advice I give everyone, the advice,
the whole idea of aping into stuff.
Yeah. I think start with a really, really small amount of money and like get your feet wet. That's just what I want everybody to do, is like, if you're going to bridge to Solana and start buying memes for the first time, bridge 1 Solana, bridge 0.5 Solana, go over there and like play around in the trenches for $5, $10 and like goof off that way. Get your feet wet before you like just start aping, because there's so many things that can go wrong. Something that I've done a lot is a new coin has come out. It's awesome. Everybody's talking about it. People are talking about it like I trust and are generally right, or at least like influential enough that it makes sense to get involved. And then I'll buy the wrong version of that token, because there's like, as soon as something becomes cool, they'll launch like 30 derivatives, and that's with the same picture and everything. And so you've got to go in and, look at like the volume and be like, okay, this is the one, or like
the meme coin equivalent of a phishing attack. Yeah,
exactly. So there's so many things that can go wrong. I've been rugged a gazillion times messing with this stuff. But I paid for the education, and I'm glad that I got it. What would convince you? Like, does WIF have to flip an ETH before like people start, like hedge funds are like, okay, well, shit, we need to start taking this seriously.
Yeah. I don't think it's so much like the convincing part. I think it's just the kind of time and energy part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a busy guy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my best to just sort of stay on top of like the things that I'm kind of looking at and feel I have expertise in. And, you know, this is just a whole other category of things that,
Yeah.
you know, I can't be an expert in. I can spend time in it, and you know, I do hold a few meme coins.
Yeah. What are you into? Wawa?
I've been
Cosmos one?
Yeah, I bought. I mean, I have Wawa, but Doge. I think I bought.
We probably have had Wawa steak since like, you know, 21 or whatever it came out.
Yeah. I recently bridged over some Sol or had some Sol, and like I bought some Mother.
Yeah, I think Mother's a good one.
You know, I think I bought some Whiff and some of those kind of, you know, the top tier ones.
Yeah.
But then, you know, there's a whole bunch of other ones like this SPX 6900.
Yeah, that one's great.
Giga and all these other ones I don't have yet. So, yeah, for me, it's just like allocating time to doing that. So.
It makes sense. That was actually why I like gave you that advice. It's like, well, you're already an expert on these other things. Like, that's definitely where all your capital should stay. And secret indulgence maybe could be like,
but
about
having some, you know, 5% or maybe, you know, some up to 5% of your portfolio in this stuff, you know, it makes sense. And I'm not at 5%, but
yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Probably should be, somewhere between 1 to 5%.
What do you think that, you know, the classic meme coin, you know, the Doge shivs, what do you think of those, and how are those going to perform?
I think they'll do well. I think like Doge, what's interesting,
because Doge isn't on any decks.
If we were in like 2023, in like the summer, and I think that most people would have been looking at this like, we're going to start collecting memes, and they're not going to go up until Doge goes up.
Yeah.
So in a similar way, people are like, I'm only going to hold Bitcoin in the bear market because it's going to go up first, and then I can start to trickle down into other, you know, kind of flip top L1s. And now it's like, and so I'm wondering if new people coming in wanting memes are only going to want the memes that everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah.
And not Doge. But Elon Musk will probably pump Doge at some point.
Didn't he just say that he was no longer... I saw some video where he's saying he's not affiliated with any crypto project or endorsing anything, and he's kind of detached himself from it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I think that here the take. We did a panel in Singapore with a few folks from our portfolio about liquidity and how to bring more liquidity into the space. Mm-hmm. And one of the takeaways was that there's just tons of liquidity that is sitting there in top 20 assets like Cardano, like Doge, like Litecoin, that most of that liquidity is not being utilized in DeFi. It's either on chain or it's on a DEX or on a SEX.
Yeah.
And there's hundreds of billions of dollars of liquidity that is just sitting there, not being utilized in DeFi.
Yeah.
And so I think someone should build like Babylon for Doge, or like Babylon for Litecoin, and start bringing some of that liquidity and security over into DeFi, into Cosmos, into Ethereum, Solana, whatever.
That's interesting. It's kind of like your poker example. You know, it's like, would anyone who loves memes also want like yield on those memes? You know?
Yeah.
And so,
of course,
I think most people will be using. Most of retail coming in, buying memes, will be using apps like Moonshot and a lot of like those type things that are coming out where you can just get up and then there'll be like a new cool featured meme of that day, and like you swipe right like on Tinder, and then it just brings up how much you want to buy, and you put in that dollar amount and you swipe again, and then it's done
on your credit card.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. And I think that's what will be popular, right? And not necessarily like going to Coinbase and buying Doge. There's a lot of people who are trying to collect the high quality base memes because of the new smart wallet that Coinbase has.
Yeah.
What's that called again? Just like slip my wallet. No, they have like a cute name. Anyway, they have a new great wallet that's really accessible, and you can open it, and make all your transactions with just your face, and there's no like crazy seed phrases to remember and all that stuff that would be difficult for new people. And so that's another angle, thinking like, okay, retail likes Coinbase. That kind of makes sense. They're all going to get these base wallets, and those memes might do really well.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It changes so quickly that it's like you can't give anyone advice. It's just like all you can say is do your own research and maybe try and understand crypto Twitter culture. But it takes years, and it's wild, and you don't know who to follow or trust most of the time.
Yeah.
And so,
what do you think about this has been coming up a lot in conversation recently? Bag bias.
bag bias. Think it's everywhere.
You think it's everywhere? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people are biased by the bags instead of like making money. It's like people typically, people will, hold on to ETH or Atom for dear life while, stuff is, pumping elsewhere.
Yeah.
And there are opportunities in all sorts of other places. I don't know that that's a behavior that is prevalent amongst other types of assets.
Yeah.
Like stocks or gold or, commodities or whatever. It's like, like I'm holding my rice, like rice options.
It's just like, you've doubled down and bull posted your bags on Twitter every day for 4 years.
Yeah.
How do you just like change and get rid of it? That was my first mistake in crypto.
Yeah.
I think, was buying a bunch of something, seeing other stuff and be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. What a great opportunity. Okay. I'm just going to buy more of this dumb shit that I keep getting. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got obsessed with like one thing. That was a bad mistake. I was telling my friends to buy Cardano at 1 cent while I was accumulating more of this other stupid project because I just wanted more of that and I wanted to hit a number.
Yeah.
And so I think I learned that lesson the hard way early on. Didn't know much about crypto anyway, but I'm not making that mistake again.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen as much as I can. Of course I have bag bias. I mean, of course, right?
Yeah.
But I'm conscious of my bag bias and really trying to not make those mistakes. It's like if something's hot and new, like that's what I want to be in, especially in bull markets.
Yeah. You think we're in a bull market now?
Yes, 100%. This cycle's been interesting. I think we probably would have had like a more typical cycle if all this crazy Bitcoin ETF stuff didn't happen. I think that hype ran the price up, right? We hit 74K. And if that hadn't happened and it would have been maybe like a slower general trajectory, then maybe we would be doing like new all-time highs right now. You should put like a ton of noise in the chart.
Yeah.
And I think that especially is going to hurt projects that maybe launched last spring into like really hot conditions and their market caps went straight up like Celestia did. And now it puts so much noise in the chart for traders that like it has to like find its way all the way back up and break through all these resistance levels and go through all the like the community's mad at them because the token went down for 3 months, or whatever. And so I think that's what has kind of made this cycle weird. I think that every single bullish tailwind that we could have asked for happened. Every single one. Maybe like the Trump presidency would be like the last one. So we'll know in a few weeks. But every morning when I wake up and look at the chart, I'm just shocked that Bitcoin's not at 90K by now. I think we're about to be in a very awesome bull run.
Cool, man. Well, that's a great word to end on. Thank you.
Great to see you, brother.
Yeah, you too.